Hello and welcome to round 4 of the 2023 Midwest Major. In this round I'm playing against Carl Voss. I had played Carl in the last year's edition of this event. Got a nice victory there. I also played him earlier in 2023 at the Word Cup. Also managed to win that game.
Enjoy.
After 3 rounds, I'm in 4th place. And if I manage to win this game, should be in pretty good position in the tournament. I'm first to act, and let's see what we draw.
Okay.
Okay, no opening bingo this time. So we want to get rid of the J. We want to get rid of one of the A's as well. There's really only 2 ways to do that. Either play Taj, keeping 3 vowels to go with the L, or Jato or Jota. Very useful anagrams. Decided to play Jato. It's worth noting that you might have the urge to shift this play up 2 spaces to not give back the dangerous line with the S, but that would be a significant mistake, as more often you're just giving back a lot of points from the J onto the double word scores. See what we get. Okay, A-E-I-L-T, then we draw the extra I and the P. Looking for 8-letter words while eating a bagel. Can't find anything, and Carl pretty much destroys any possibility of an 8-letter word. Spend a little bit of time seeing if there might be a 9-letter word. Don't see anything. Decide to play pale. Worth noting that this tournament was played using the NWL 18 dictionary, so ABO is an acceptable word. And we draw decently, but once again, probably don't have a bingo here. And I don't know what Carl's putting down, but I'm already ready to challenge. Yard line. It's not a word. That's good. Get a free turn. But knowing exactly what your opponent has can be very difficult in terms of trying to find the best play. Spend a little bit of time here trying to figure out if I should stop him from doing anything. He has plays like YA, Fe, and Pita. He also has the play of delay through the L. And it's probably worth stopping this play. Instead of doing that with a play like LEI, I decide to exchange the E and the I just to try and maximize my chances at a bingo myself. The play of Tace looks like the top move here. Sets up the S I know that Carl doesn't have, while also blocking a lot of his better plays. Carl plays idle, so trying to keep well. Still know 4 of his 7 tiles. In this position, I don't have to worry about that whatsoever. I have 1 playable bingo and 1 superior spot for that bingo. So I find scathed. Take a pretty nice lead.
88.
But it's very likely that Carl will have drawn something pretty big here, as he's keeping well with idle. So an 8-letter word is somewhat to be expected. And look at that, 4 R's. Thought I was doing well, but after this draw and za, Carl picking up the Z on a 3-tile draw.
101 to 130. Yep.
I'm up 29, but not much to do here. I either have to make a very bold decision to get rid of 3 of my R's with error or terror, or an even bolder decision playing TIRO instead for 26, keeping 3 R's. That's the top move recommended by the engine. It's very hard to make such a move, but the score is well worth it, as it gives almost nothing back with relation to play of error. I know that Carl has an R, so it's less likely than average he can do much about the triple opening. And little to my surprise, he can't do that much. He plays REI for 9, and I draw the Q. I was trying to figure out how likely I was to get a 7 or 8 letter word after just playing QI for 11, but it's worth keeping the Q here to score some points. 3 on, getting the triple letter, double word. And Carl holds here. He's unsure whether this is a word.
Accept.
He ends up accepting. Freon didn't used to be a word, it used to just be a trademark. But it was added to the dictionary some years ago. But every time the dictionary is updated, everything you know might no longer be valid. But to Carl's credit, he does accept the play after remembering that it was probably added. So Carl actually kept EINPR on his last play. He did provide me with his racks for the entirety of the game.
76.
And he drew very well. He drew DS, and he gets to play Pinders to take a 10-point lead. And keeping the Q actually pays dividends, as Pinders gives me a clear spot for QI. I'm maintaining my lead, but ABNTW needs a lot of help. There's a lot of vowels left in the pool, though. So hopefully I can draw 1 or 2 of them. There we go. AE, a very good draw. And Carl responds very nicely with Sai-mai for over 40 points. So this is a close game despite the lost turn earlier by Carl. And both blanks are still unseen, which leads me to want to play more tiles than usual. So I'm holding the A and the B on my rack and considering whether I should go ahead with this move, and ultimately I decide to play Boti for 24, keeping AN, balanced leave. Now, this is a questionable move because I could play water or tar to that R and keep a little bit more of a balance. And if you look at these unseen tiles, both V's, all 4 U's, and all 4 G's are still unseen with a ton of vowels. And I do draw 2 of the U's as well as a blank. So I hit both what I want to hit and what I don't want to hit. As Carl's able to use a U to play Solitude. So he now takes a significant lead, although I do have the blank. There's nowhere to play Alumnus, except to that lone S of Solitude.
24.
I decide to play Unbar to open the board a little bit, but it might be worth playing Alumin through the Eye of Solitude, just considering that that spot is quite nasty, and I could regret not using it. But Unbar is okay. And Carl here, fortunately for me, does end up missing a couple of better options. He plays Oxes for a very nice score, but he had a D, so he could have played through the Eye of Solitude with Doxie or Dexie. Doxie. Instead, he gives me an O to play through, which I search for a while, for 3 minutes, trying to find an 8-letter word through the O. But I fail on that front. I'm only able to find the 7-letter word Nolumbo, making the blank a B. There was a playable bingo of monofuel,
70.
which is 10 more points and definitely worth it. But to my surprise, Carl decides to hold this play. And if he's holding this play, there's a good chance he's challenging it because it looks so bizarre. If you don't know this word, it looks ridiculous. Carl holds for a very long time here, while I draw my provisional tiles, tiles that I might not be able to keep if the play of Nolumbo comes off the board. But I'm certain this is a word, so there's no need to prevent myself from seeing the tiles I will have.
Fosters.
Carl challenges. Very happy to see this, as there's still one blank remaining, and so my very small lead after Nolumbo is not very safe. But with the extra turn, I can turn things around here. Apologies for the rack being slightly out of frame. That's AIKLNOR. And I find the absolute best move here, a disconnected play through the O and the N of Kaolin, which is a type of clay, 45 points. And Carl plays Arag while I draw the blank, which is very, very fortunate. But I suffer another miss here. I have one playable 7-letter word on the side of Solitude that I just completely whiff on. And I play Hun, which is a good play in and of itself, but I can lose the game after this play. So I'm only taking around a 50, 60 point lead. The 7-letter word was Chronon. CHRONON. We played for 92 in that spot. We played for even more, making 6 overlaps. So this was a pretty bad miss. While Carl plays Vets, trying to open another part of the board. But I know there's nothing to fear. I decide to play off my O to try and go for a bingo of my own to the N of Unbar. I probably should just play Unroven and get the game over with, but I was feeling greedy. Carl was low on time.
21.
But I don't hit my bingo, and Carl makes his best endgame play of Egg, keeping a very sneaky high-scoring play of Edit, making Cow Line. So just to the right of Cowlin, he can overlap 4 times, score over 30 points. So I draw the W, I play Unwoven. And I figure that in this spot, if Carl isn't 100% sure that Unwoven is a word, he's going to challenge, because
40.
if he allows this play to stay on the board, he loses. But if he challenges the play off the board, if he makes his high-scoring endgame play, he will actually win the game if Unwoven is invalid. But of course it's valid. So I get an extra turn and a little bit of point differential, point spread to go with it. So my time ticking down, I go out with PER for 6, and I end the game. After the count back, the game ends 486.
76.
396.
10.
And yeah, Carl fought really hard despite losing a turn. I made a couple of
So yeah, 480.
mistakes as well
Yeah, good game. Well played.
that allowed him a little bit more space to come back. But he got the W.
But yeah.
Next round, I'm playing Steve Hartzman.
The words are the words.
So looking forward to that game.
That's
See you there.
That's the thing. So you did what you could. You did well.
I have to look up no. I can't imagine what that could possibly be.
Yeah, it's a really weird one. I figured if you didn't already have the blank, it was tough to let it go. But yeah, I drew the blank the other one really late.